here is a basic Django application. Our requirements are Django, Celery, and Redis. So make sure to install them simply by doing pip install -r requirements.txt. So you see I've already installed them, and this Django application has one app, okay, which has been registered or added to the installed apps list. Okay, so let's create a Docker file. And a Docker file simply has instructions to create or build an image, and images are what I use to create Docker containers. So the first instruction here should be a from, okay, which means you're setting or defining an instruction that defines your base image. Okay, Python 3.12 dash slim. So everything else will be built upon this base image. And then we have env, one environment variable, which will be Python and buffered like that equals to 1. And this tells Python to send our logs directly to the terminal. Then we shall have another environment variable called Python don't write bytecode like that equals to 1, and this will prevent Python from writing .pyc files. After that, you can create a working directory. Our working directory will be /app. Okay, then after we can copy everything from requirements.txt to our working directory, which is app. Okay, then we can now install our requirements by saying pip install --no catch. So we don't want to catch the -r requirements.txt like that. After, we can now copy everything else. We copy everything else from our current directory to destination, which is app. Okay, then finally we can expose port 8000. So we shall run our application on port 8000. As simple as that. So next up, let us create a Docker compose file. docker-compose.yml. Okay, so here we're going to have a number of services. Actually, 3 services. We shall have a web service, our Django application. We shall have Redis. Then we shall need Celery. Okay, so Celery is a task queue that will be required by our web application, and Celery is a task queue that requires a message broker. One of the popular message brokers is Redis. So Celery will use Redis as a message broker. So let's go into the web and then specify the build. Okay, and this will mean Docker will find the Docker file in our current working directory. Okay, so this sets up the context. Okay, and then we have command. Okay, and the command is going to be multi-line. To show that it is multi-line, you use that symbol, or that angle bracket shows that it is multi-line. Then we shall run this command using shell. Okay, and to specify that it's using shell, we shall say sh -c. So -c will mean that it is going to be a command in a string, okay, string format. So we shall say python manage.py make migrations. This is the first command, and so we are chaining. We're going to change another command, which will be python manage.py migrate after making migrations. Then after that, we have another command, python manage.py run server. Okay, and the IP or the address will be this 0.0.0.0, meaning all, then 8000, port 8000. So after that, we shall specify volumes. Okay, so for the volumes, we shall say everything in our current directory will be mounted onto app inside the container. So when something changes externally, it will be reflected internally and vice versa. Next up, we shall specify the ports, and we shall map port 8000 to 8,000. So port 8,000 internally to port 8,000 externally. Then also this service has to depend on another service, which is Redis. So Docker will ensure that Redis starts and is okay before our web application runs. Then we can set up an environment variable, say environment, okay? For the environment, we shall simply go to this WSGI and copy this to make it easy. We copy that, come here, remove that and paste. So Django settings module will be equals to docker celery.settings. So our project is called docker celery.settings. Then after that, I can have some space here. Then we go to Redis also. And for Redis, we shall build it from an image, which is lightweight, called Redis Alpine. Okay, like that. And just like you see here, we had Python Slim, which is also lightweight. So Redis Alpine, then the ports for Redis, we shall have 6379, 6379. So 6379 internally mapped to 6379 externally. Okay, then we go to Celery, and the build will be the same as for the web service. Then the command, of course, will be different, and this will be Celery -a. This will be the name of our application, which is docker underscore Celery, and then -l, then info that we shall need. Then say we need to specify some volumes, and it will be the same as the web service. So mount everything in the current directory to app in the container. Then after that, depends on Redis. Redis is the service name. Then after that, the environment. Okay, the environment we need will be the same. Shall have an environment variable called Django settings module. So I can just actually copy this, and this will be required by Celery. The Django settings module will be equals to docker celery.settings. Okay, as simple as that. So after that, we can now go into the docker Celery directory and create a module called celery.py. So in celery.py, we can simply now say from Celery import Celery like that. Then we can also import OS. Okay. Then we can say os.environ.set default. Okay. We want to set the Django settings module. So we can leave it like that. Okay. And it should be able to pick this. Okay, from the environment. But for now, we can just put a failsafe. Okay, the default value. So default value will be docker celery.settings, just like that. It won't hurt for us to do that. Then you can create an instance of Celery by saying app equals to Celery, and the value to take here would be the name of our app, which is docker Celery. And then after that, you can say app.config. Okay, config from object like that. Then we say Django.conf settings like that. Then namespace equals to, this will just be Celery like that. Then shall say app.auto discover tasks. So it will auto discover tasks in our project. Then when we are done with that, go to the init.py file. Okay, init.py right here, and then shall import from .celery. So we're importing from this module here that we created from .celery import app. Okay, because app is already here. Okay, this, we're importing app, and then shall give it another name as Celery underscore app. Give it another alias, and then you say underscore underscore all underscore will be equals to say Celery. You can just copy this, copy and paste, because Celery app. So by doing this, we are initializing and exposing Celery. And you know that this will be loaded, this file will be loaded, this module here, init.py will be loaded as our project runs immediately. So next up, we need to define our first task. To do that, go to our app task.py, and this app actually has a model I created called task, and has a title, which is a char field, maximum length of 200, a description, which is a text field, a boolean field completed, which is by default false, created at, which is a datetime field. So we can now go to this same directory tasks and call or create a file called tasks.py. In tasks.py, we can now import that model from .models, import task, then from Celery, import shared task, like that. Then I can define a function called long running task. And we shall use this function to mimic a long running task, okay? And we can decorate it by saying at shared task, okay, what we just imported. Then we can fetch a task by its ID using the Django ORM task.objects.get, and we shall use this parameter here, task ID, paste it there, and then we can mimic a delay by saying sleep for 10 seconds. But we need to import this function, and it is found in the time module. So from time, import sleep, like that. Then after that, we can mark this task completed. Task.completed equals to true, like that. Then we can now say task.save. Okay, and then we can simply return an F string saying task ID completed successfully, like that. Okay, so when we're done with this, we can make use of this by creating some views. So let's create some views. The first view will be called create underscore task, which of course takes in an HTTP request, and shall say task equals to task dot objects dot create. Okay, so we need to import task. So say from dot models import task, like that, so that squiggly line will go away. Then shall see the title equals to sample background task. Okay, then description will be equals to this task will run in background. Okay, then now for it to actually be delayed, we need to import from the tasks, import long running task. Then we can now say long running task dot delay. Okay, dot delay, we want delay the operation of marking this task complete. Okay, dot delay, we pass the task dot ID, like that, and then we can have its result in a variable, like that, and then shall say return a JSON response. So I need to import that. I'll say from Django.http import JSON response. So return a JSON response. Then shall put a dictionary and shall say the task ID. This should be lowercase. Task ID, task.id, like that. Then we can also create the Celery underscore task ID, which will simply be the value of result dot ID. Can make this lowercase 2, and then the status, and simply say the task has been queued. Okay, task queued, like that. Then we're going to create another view for listing the tasks. Okay, list tasks. It should be plural tasks, not list task. Request, and then all the tasks will be equals to task.objects dot all. Simple as that. In fact, we can order them. Let us order them by the time they were created. Okay, but in reverse. So I'll say minus created underscore at. Then you can simply return render the request tasks slash task underscore list .html, and then we can pass the tasks in the context like that, as simple as that. And actually I created this template ahead of time, so you can find it in the GitHub repo in the description. So we have tasks, templates, tasks, then task list.html, okay, which simply has a for loop that displays the task title, and then completed if the task is completed, or pending if it's not completed, and then the time it was created at. As simple as that. All right, so what else do we need to have this working? Let's go to the settings.py and have some Celery specific configuration added here. So we can move to the bottom right here and then say Celery underscore broker. The broker URL will be equals to Redis, okay, like that. Then Redis 6379/0. Then we can also have the Celery result backend will be equals to Redis actually the same as this. So the broker URL, like I told you, Celery uses Redis as its message broker. So we're just specifying that here. So the broker URL will be that, and the result backend will be the same. Okay, where to find its broker and where to send its results to the same tool, which is Redis. And then we shall say Celery accept content. So you can actually read more about these settings or other settings that I've not talked about here in their documentation. So it can accept JSON. So with this application JSON, and this is a Python list. Then we have Celery result serializer, like that. It would be JSON. And Celery, this time not result, but it will be task serializer will be equals to also JSON. Actually, I should have just copied and pasted that to save my time. Okay, so I think that is it. We need, I think, URLs to make use of the views that we have here. So I'll create a urls.py here, and in this urls.py I can define, I need to import some things first of all from our current directory, import views, also from Django.urls import path. Then I can say URL patterns will be equals to path, okay, shall say create slash, okay, so shall say views dot create task. You can give it a name, even if we won't use this name in this simple project, but I can just add it there as a best practice. Then create another path for listing, okay, comma, we put a forward slash. So this will be views dot list tasks, what we created. Name can simply be list tasks, as simple as that. Then we can now have this in our global URL, which is here. So we shall need a function called include, like that. Then we come here and say path, okay, tasks slash, when we hit any endpoint concerning tasks, include all the URLs in tasks.urls. As simple as that. I think that's it. So let's come down here and let's run our app, assuming there are no issues, by saying docker compose, okay, docker compose app minus minus build. So make sure before you run this command, make sure you have Docker installed, and the quickest way of having Docker installed is by installing Docker desktop on your machine. Okay, so come here to Docker. If you scroll down, you'll see download Docker desktop. So download it for your platform. Okay, whether that is Mac, Intel, Mac, Apple Silicon, Windows, AMD, Windows ARM, or Linux. Okay, so I have it already on my system. So I run that command, hit enter. So permission denied. I'll add sudo. So this should work for people on Mac and Linux. If you're on Windows, make sure you open your PowerShell or command prompt as an administrator. So I'll enter my password. So it's building. So this could take some time. So shall be patient and wait for it. All right, looks like our Docker has finished running and building everything. So I'll got this address, paste it here. Okay, this is okay. So you say says you may need to add 00 to allowed hosts. So let us copy that and go to settings.py, where is allowed hosts. Paste that there, save. Okay, go back. All right, so we need to go to tasks. So we can go to tasks /tasks/ create. So you see, we get that task queued. And when we go here, where is that? Our handler, that's good. So we should give it some seconds. Okay, some seconds. If I go to, where is it? I wanted to show you, we have that in tasks.py. Okay, sleep for 10 seconds. So if I came back here and I refresh, okay, we have created more tasks. Okay, so let's go to tasks, task/list. You see, they're all pending. Okay, why are they all pending? Because I think we have an issue that we need to fix. So if you look carefully at the logs, actually I looked at them briefly, you see we have an error up here. It says error no such option -L in Celery. And like when you come here, you see we're actually missing something on line 24. So before -L, we're supposed to say, specify the worker, say worker, like that. Okay, so I will kill this. So let's wait for it to, hopefully that happens faster. And then let us run our application. Build. Okay, so let's try to move up and see. Looks like we have another issue with Celery. Okay, so you see it picked up the previous tasks that were created. Okay, it was a type error. I think something went wrong. Okay, so let's go back here. If you try to refresh this, okay, let's go to create a task. Okay, then let's go to the bottom. It says type error cannot unpack non-iterable int. So we need to locate that error also. So that should be in our tasks.py task ID. I think this is wrong. Okay, we're supposed to say where ID equals to task ID. Okay, so let's try this again. Create a task. Okay, cannot unpack non-iterable int object. Okay, so let's try to kill this. Actually, what I can do, I can actually delete our database. Okay, and we allow Docker to restart from scratch. Okay, so we have that. Okay, Celery is ready. So let's get back here, create our first task. You see, if we come back here, you see a task has been received. And if I go to the task, the list tasks list, okay, you see it was completed. Okay, so you see it succeeded. So let's try to be fast about this. So I'll come here, copy this, come here, go to tasks, create. Okay, so you see one is still pending and one is completed, and you can see it was received. So you're going to see a message after about 10 seconds that it has succeeded. So when you come back here and refresh, you see both of them have been completed. So that's it. That's it. Maybe one more example. Create another task. Two completed, one still pending. Okay, so you see it was received, succeeded, it was completed successfully. If we refresh here, it has also been completed. So that's it. I hope you've learned something.